Can I use printer for foiling? It is generally not recommended to use an inkjet printer for foiling because the process involves heat and pressure, which can damage the inkjet printer. Foiling typically requires a specialized printing process that uses a foil stamping machine, which applies a thin layer of metallic or holographic foil to the printed surface using heat and pressure. Also, foiling often done on the specific paper which support the foiling process. Using the inkjet paper will lead to not successful foiling. Foiling with an inkjet printer is not a common method and it is not recommended. Foiling is a specialized printing process that uses a foil stamping machine, which applies a thin layer of metallic or holographic foil to the printed surface using heat and pressure. This process is not something that can be done with an inkjet printer, as the heat and pressure required would likely damage the printer. It's worth to note that you can use the digital foiling, which involves software and specialized toner, instead of using the inkjet printer and physical foiling process. Foiling is a specialized printing technique that adds a metallic or holographic finish to text or graphics. It's a process that is typically done using a foil stamping machine, which applies a thin layer of foil to the printed surface using heat and pressure. This process is not something that can be done with an inkjet printer, as the heat and pressure required would likely damage the printer. There are a few ways to achieve the foiling effect using an inkjet printer, but they are not as common or as effective as traditional foil stamping. One method is to print an image or text onto transfer paper, then apply the transfer paper onto the desired surface using heat and pressure. This method can work well for small projects, but it can be difficult to achieve consistent results and it is not suitable for larger or more projects. Another method is to use specialized software and toner that is designed to create a foil-like effect when printed on an inkjet printer. This method is sometimes referred to as digital foiling and it can be used to create a foil-like effect on text or graphics. However, the results of this method are not as good as traditional foil stamping and the foiling effect is often not as intense or as long-lasting. One other possible way to achieve foiling effect with an inkjet printer is by using the special type of inkjet foiling paper, but it's rare and even then the results are not as good as physical foiling process.